It's important when you or somebody close to you is experiencing what we've learned to call psychiatric symptoms, that you be kind to yourself and you be kind to the other person.
We're each other's triggers, so it's trying to learn about that is hard. They don't teach you that stuff in school. Nobody teach you how to have a relationship, and now you're trying to have one with somebody who's what I call broken. It's hard. We don't know what's going on.
I've had problems my whole life. I was just seemed a little bit different than everybody else. People would describe me as crazy because I would do very unconventional things. Didn't want to hear about this ADHD thing. They had a file 2 inches thick saying I was bipolar. Just said, all right, whatever, I'll just go along with it. It was still really irritating me that they would not listen to me. My family's very prideful, so we're not the type to let outside people help us. The rule of the house was, if you're not dying, you're not seeing a doctor. Throughout my time in my relationships and with my mom, it didn't matter what they did, the guy was always in trouble. And so when I seen 2 women lashing out at a guy for not doing anything wrong, I just snapped.
It's going to affect a lot of people besides the person who is having the symptoms and struggling with them.
We can expect and we can't expect. So like, well, he could do this before, why can't he now? And why can't he just get off his butt? And why can't he just get a job? And when there's mental illness involved, you can't just do something. There's medicine, there's therapy, there's how you're feeling, there's all these different things. I just feel a lot stronger. Knowledge is power.
For the mental health aspect, the people that come in here, and if it's, and if we're up to that national average of 66% of the people have a mental health problem, they should get mental health service. They should get something to help them with that issue.
I've gone through this PTSD thing before, and it didn't really seem like it clicked because I'd never seen a horribly traumatic incident. I was diagnosing myself with PTSD. Looking into it myself, I found a whole new area of it, which is complex PTSD, which is prolonged exposure to harmful environments or negative people, emotional stress. And that one clicked perfectly. It explained exactly everything that was going on with, extended period of pain to continue when normal people would not.
I'm not in a miserable place. Like sometimes I'm upset, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm angry, but I'm not dying. I'm not falling apart. We're still moving forward.
She didn't understand it at first. When I started getting help, she was willing to be there for me and try to be supportive, but she still didn't understand.
Some days it makes me crazy. Sometimes I feel like I have mental illness.
Countries all over the world have to cope with psychiatric disorders of one type or another. And they develop different systems, but there are countries, as you know, where patients live with families and they stay with families, and the families get a lot of support from the psychiatric community. Over time, people may stay for very long periods of time. The trajectory of psychiatric disorder is very long.
It took a lot of time to go back and identify each incident during my life and how that's affected me now or throughout my life.
We can de-escalate and calm the situation down so they're not being arrested and ending up being brought to the jail. And when we say behavioral health, we mean mental health and substance use, like a co-occurring kind of thing. Because we're also aware that someone with mental health needs who might be under the influence might be really struggling, and helping to just get them to a safe, sober location and for the night, and then follow up the next day, kind of a thing too. Avoid an arrest and a jail, and avoid a hospitalization. I mean, it's win-win for everybody.
And a lot of people say to me, he doesn't have to get better. You're doing everything for him. It's difficult to hear these things. I know that he doesn't want to be sitting on his butt doing nothing. It's not who he is.
So financially, it's been really hard. I was actually doing really well, and interest, started going down. I had the house to worry about, and being that I pay child support for 3 kids, it only leaves me with half of whatever I make. So, I wasn't able to contribute much, but I was able to do a lot of stuff around the house. A lot of improvements as we went along. But the longer I went on, the less often I would be doing them.
There's nothing worse than having a problem and nobody doing something about it. I'm stuck trying to take care of things by myself. So I balance the checkbook to a T. Whenever we have cash, we use it on gas because it's cheaper. It's really frustrating, that fine line between making too much and not making enough. You basically have to be super poor to get help. We have bills and we have credit cards and we have all this stuff we have to take care of.
Father-daughter dance. I was wondering if you were interested in that.
Dryden?
That's not that far away. Half an hour.
What day? Oh,
Tonight. Yeah. Well, she's not prepared for it, but
Yeah, that's
it was something that I was thinking about, but it's $20.
significant mail figured. Oh yeah, we don't have that.
The food pantries we have to do now, that was tricky, trying to suck up your pride and go do that and walk past houses and hope the neighbors don't see you. So this one's 12 ounces, this one's 15, so I think this one. Yeah, we don't go to hotels, we don't go to the movies, we don't buy coffee, I don't buy my lunch. Most our stuff is hand-me-downs or free off the side of the road. We'll do cleanup days. Why? I'm so tired of doing this. But when it saves a big chunk of money, it's worth it. I never grew up this way, so it's kind of like I've lost something or something's been taken away, and it's tricky. Sometimes I get mad, sometimes I get frustrated, sometimes I'm like, why do I have to live this life? But it's good. I feel like I'm growing and learning and expanding my horizons.
It took a lot of time to go back and identify each incident during my life and how that's affected me now or throughout my life. This is my 3rd day already without any meds. So I was really losing it. I was really upset. I totally lost it. I tore the whole house apart, and I probably would have killed myself if she'd not taken my shotgun. So anyway, 2 days later, the police come pick me up, and I get arrested again. I spent like 10 months in jail, and that 10 months was like actually a huge help. It was a huge relief because all the things that that really stressed me out, housing, work, finances, I didn't have to worry about any of that. I only had to worry about myself day to day.
After a lot of development, work group discussion, and looking at models that are used across the state, we've decided on the mobile crisis team. Going out to the NAMI meeting the other night was certainly a way for us to explain one of the gaps that our community has always identified, which is after-hour and weekend crisis service. How do we address the behavioral health crisis services in the community after hours and weekends?
Things are becoming a lot clearer to him, and then trying to just accept that. And I'm learning how he is, how he reacts, how he functions, and just how to muddle your way through life. So I don't know if they've solved the problem, but I think it's easier to explore what to do when he's a lot more aware.
Certainly coordinating with the Sheriff's Department has been really key for us. They're really involved, plus they have the jail, and one of the efforts they're looking at is how to divert from the jail. So we're often talking with them, and especially in the last few months, we've coordinated a couple meetings, and we've talked with Captain Bunce. And he's been especially interested in how do we help divert from the jail so that, people with mental health needs aren't ending up there. That
The health director doesn't feel that the county jail is a place for mental health treatment. Now this is just one of those things that's out there, and that's why I feel that the jail is an extension of the community. Some of these people, they're not getting what they need. There is very little treatment that comes to these guys. So what tends to happen is when somebody has a episode or a mental health problem or something like that, my correction officers are trained to react to behavior. So we react to behavior, and we control the behavior, but we don't control the reason behind the behavior. The people that come in here, and if it's, and if we're up to that national average of 66% of the people have a mental health problem, they should get mental health service. They should get something to help them with that issue. Now they have a legal issue, that's why they're here, but if the mental health issue is something that affects all that, then they should be able to get that while they're in jail. Yes, it's not a positive place or anything, but it is a area where a lot of issues and concerns tend to be here. And the treatment that people get while they're here is not, I don't believe it's the same as the people that are on the outside. If someone wants treatment or needs it, there's a place for them to go. If someone in jail needs treatment or wants treatment, there's really nowhere for them to go.
So we had, I don't know, bad day, bad incident. I was just frustrated. I'm like, what do I do? Who do I turn to? Where do I go? His mom, I can only talk to her for so much. My friends are sick of hearing the same complaints over and over. I found something on the internet, and it was linked there to this National Alliance of Mental Illness, and there's a Finger Lakes group, and they're in Ithaca. So I'm like, well, that's perfect. I work down there.
Welcome to the NAMI Finger Lakes Support Group. We generally like to talk about whatever is going on in our lives right now.
We're going to do public assistance and try to ask for help with driving and carpooling and see if we can't get him where he'd like to be realistically. Because I don't need all that extra stress and worry, and just trying to remind him what we're capable of right now.
One of the wonderful things about the NAMI family, the family group, it's made up of patients and family members, and it may be people who are taking the course for a second or third time, because you pack a lot of information in there.
It feels like I have a lot to look forward to, and a lot of opportunities are coming up. I'm finally, like I said, moving forward from that unstuck phase to I can put some things behind me and I'm ready to move forward. I have some good days and I have some bad days, but it's nice to have some good days again.
But it was overwhelmingly, I love you. I thank you for supporting me. You've been wonderful. You shouldn't have to deal with this. So those, I guess, are the moments that I live for that just make it worth it. Like, I know that's how he's feeling. He can tell me now and then. So I know that he's still there. He's in there somewhere. It's not his fault. It's something that's happening. He's not wanting to be this way. So we hope for the best, that we keep going to counseling and therapy and try different medicines and kiss each other every day.